Okay, so let's do our last one. Okay, same deal. Now we're going to do the last piece. So we've done how to take notes, we've done how to do problems, how to study, and now we've taken an exam. What do we do with it? So that's the first question. After you've actually taken an exam, how do you evaluate your performance? What do you do? Okay, so let's talk about it. So how do you evaluate your performance? So you take an exam, you get it back. What do you do? How do you evaluate how you did? Jack, what do you think?
I guess first, I look at what I got, like scores.
Yeah, usually a red pen of some sort, and there's a score at the top. Yeah, definitely. Anything past that?
And then I guess kind of how that grade reflects how much time and effort I put in. And,
oh, nice. Okay.
Just like trying to find that comparison on whether or not I felt like I should have done better or definitely didn't put in enough time.
So it does kind of transcend past what you got right and wrong. It's how you prepared for it. Nice, very nice. Very nice. I like that. Sam, how about you? Anything to add? Or?
I say I like what I got wrong. I understand where maybe I got these wrong. Like maybe it was just because I didn't know what the symbols meant even, or maybe it was that I just didn't know how to do the procedure or something like that. And then I just make a note on that on the test for when I go back and study, maybe for like a final or something. So I know what I did.
Nice. So you correct the error and then you figure out what's wrong.
Yeah. Okay. And I do it sooner than later because if I do it later, then I just kind of forget about it and don't go back to it.
And you do always correct your errors first?
Yeah.
Nice. That's smart. Very smart. Anybody else want to add?
I put that I would like to look for comments that the teacher made on maybe mistakes or things that I did well on it. And then I look at like what kind of mistakes that I made.
Nice.
So like, was it just like a slip up, or was it something that I just didn't understand at all?
Nice.
And then what I could have done differently to have done better on it.
To study different. So we're back to, so actually both Sam and Jack, so we're going to both, right? So kind of the same idea, Jack, and how you evaluate your performance on how you studied and how much time. Okay, good. And then keep in mind, Katie had a great idea. I looked for errors. If they were slip-ups, maybe you didn't know vocabulary, that's knowledge stuff. Or if there were concepts, that's understanding stuff, right? So now we're actually back to the idea that there's two kind of errors we can have. We can have declarative errors and procedural errors, right? Or we can have conceptual errors, right? So knowledge or understanding errors.
Well,
Excellent.
like even at that point, you might know the term, but you might have just wrote one word wrong that made it wrong.
Yeah.
You didn't even realize it, but then you look at it and you're like, oh shoot, I knew that was whatever.
And that could go both ways, right? One
or
could
like
be, I really
missing a
did
negative
that.
sign or something.
Yeah, those are, simple,
Like, so
I like that.
You
I like
can't
that.
really get too down on yourself or that kind of stuff because you know the
Those,
process
right.
and you know like the concept and the documents.
Yeah, and those silly mistakes are always going to happen. So, always. And you could always, well, neither here nor there, but you could come up with strategies on how to stop silly mistakes. Maybe you reread your test or you check it. Maybe if you always do minuses and plus, maybe you put a huge minus plus in the front and circle it so you remind yourself. Right, but you can do strategies. Yeah, absolutely. It's good. Anything else? These are excellent. All right. Okay.
Yes. See if the teacher made a mistake.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, always. Always add up your points and then always. Yeah. Okay, so why do we evaluate performance on tests? So why should we have students do that? Okay, so why do we have students evaluate performance, right? Why should we have them go through? Your ideas in the first that you do are excellent. Why should we teach kids how to do that? I don't know who I talk about. Nathan. How about you?
Okay. Let's see. So I said we want them to get their tests that have been graded back, and basically figure out where the troubles and grades are, so they can go back and focus on those and attempt to, spending efforts, knowledge, understanding, and kind of reevaluate and see, okay, try to understand and know. Like basically, we want them to go back and try to look at here's where you tripped up, go back and try to understand a little bit better. Also, the idea of kind of like, well, if we know a student didn't study, we want to kind of get the idea in their head if they got the grade they kind of deserve, if that makes sense too.
Oh, okay. So one is to gain the knowledge or understand they may have missed.
Kind of give the idea of consequences, like if you didn't study, well, no wonder you didn't do so well.
But there's some kind of connection to effort and, I don't know, I'm going to say planning for best way.
So
Yeah.
double.
I like that. right, Kristen, what do you think? Anything to add?
Is this one for knowledge and understanding?
Nope, this is just the why do we do it? What's
this
the
is
point?
this one still?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I kind of went ahead.
No reason to apologize.
I said if they get like a bad grade, they'll want to do better on the next exam, so their grade doesn't like drop. And
It's like an extrinsic motivation kind of deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
and kind of like what Jack was saying, like putting enough effort and time in preparing.
We may not be able to tell you, but we
I guess, and then like evaluate like what they did wrong. So like when they're studying for the final, and they're like looking back at the test, like
Good.
they like look at the corrections and stuff.
So two kind of themes that are still popping up, right? Get knowledge or understanding you didn't have before, and use it to somehow reflect on your practices, right? Anything to add past that?
I think another one that I wrote down was so students are aware of what they, so they're
Sure.
aware of what they know and don't know, but along with like their strengths and weaknesses. Like, do they
Nice.
really struggle with the conceptual stuff, or
Nice.
are their weaknesses more along the lines of just the
Yeah.
mental?
Let's say we have two 93s. Does it mean simple errors and one's conceptual? Are they the same? Let's figure out what we're doing wrong. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah. A third point too. Excellent, excellent. Anything else? All right. Knowing and understanding. How do we bring this into evaluating our performance? Which we talked a little bit about. We've hit on I'm saying your first part was things you all do is excellent. So a lot of that's going to come up here. Okay, so how do we incorporate knowledge and understanding? So how we understand those two things into evaluating performance. Let's do Dallas. What do you think?
Knowing what I said just like knowing what you know and don't know, understanding where you got the problem wrong, and then knowing and understanding what should be studied more next time.
Okay. If we could, it's good. If we could just kind of parse that out into kind of differentiate between what you know and understand, right? Is that kind of what you meant, or yeah, then that's excellent, excellent. Okay, Sam.
I said basically the same thing. Like, look at and see if you didn't get like the declarative knowledge or the procedural knowledge, and if you did get those, maybe you should add more repetition next time you study. And if you're not getting the conceptual and strategic stuff, then maybe you should make some more connections and maybe work on maybe working with more or different partners next time. Like let's say you work with 3 other students, then maybe you should have some other students to work with next time, so maybe you can be more actively learning.
I like that. So this has come up a couple times. It's excellent. We need to differentiate between what we know and what we understand, and understand that those are two different things. So, like Katie was saying, let's do simple mistakes. That's just procedural stuff, right? Opposed to core concepts or conceptual ideas. That's understanding stuff. Yeah, excellent. Anything else anyone wants to add? Okay. How about learning theory? How can we incorporate that? How students learn into how we are going to teach them how to evaluate their performance. Okay. Now I'm all squirrel. Okay. Jenna, what do you think? How do we incorporate how we think students learn into all this?
Of course, like once you get your exam to see what grade, does that grade, of course, relate to how well you actually prepared? So does it correlate to like if you studied a lot, is your grade well, or is it correlate with the amount of studying,
Okay.
kind of thing?
Okay.
And then also ask yourself what you did, like to prepare for your exam. Was it effective, or what could you improve?
Okay.
So you could do
Okay.
better next time.
Okay. See that? Who haven't I called on? Kate.
Well, you never call. I mean,
I can't remember.
I spoke
Kate.
in curriculum, but I kind of took it a different direction. Or I kind of took it like how they can evaluate their performance to learn from that evaluation. So I kind of wrote down a question and I said, what will they need to do to get something from the evaluation? So then, you can give them tips like making notes on their test or flagging sections of the book that they might have struggled with if they struggled with that particular section on the test, or like reworking problems as they evaluated.
Sure, absolutely. So that brings up an interesting idea. Let's say that I'm teaching you how to evaluate performance. You get something wrong, I'm a behaviorist, what am I going to have you do? I'm going to have you practice a lot of problems. Right? I'm not going to have you figure out why you did something wrong. I don't care. I want you to practice the problems. If I'm a constructivist and you have something wrong, what am I going to do?
Teach you what you did.
I'm going to do more than that. I'm not just going to teach you or tell you. I know that the teacher, I'm not going to tell you what you did. I'm going to try to get you to what? Yeah, I'm trying to get you to figure out what you did. And not just, oh, I got it wrong. No. I want, understanding. I have declarative procedural mistakes. I have conceptual mistakes. I'm going to lead you towards that idea. Right? And then I'm going to do one more thing. What else would I do? I'm going to get you to figure out what's going on, and then I'll do one more thing. It's up to you to construct your understanding. So once I lead you and help you figure this stuff out, you have to go practice them. You still have to do problems. You have to make notes. You got to do all the work on the back end. Right? I just can't do the problem for you and then say, hey, look, this is what you missed. All right, I could do that. But then you have to go construct it yourself. You have to really understand why you were missing these things. All right? So I'm not going to have you practice problems for just practice sake. I'm going to have you dissect why you missed it. Okay? Anything else anyone wants to add?
I said that when I was in middle school, we did evaluation sheets. So after we would get a test back, and we would get through a sheet, and we had to check mark which ones we got right on it. It had a list of
Oh, the problems itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, we checked which ones we got right, and then the one that we got wrong, we had to retry the problem.
Okay, redo it. Yeah. So you fixed it and did another one, or you just fixed that problem? You redid
that
problem.
problem.
That problem.
So she would hand back the test and give us feedback on why we made mistakes and where we made mistakes.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then we would just have to retry the problem. And I don't think we ever got credit back for it, but it
Yeah.
was just for our own
Yeah.
benefits.
And this is the idea that we're using the test now as a learning tool. They have to be a summative tool no matter what. You got to get a point. You got to get points. Right, but now you're right. Now we're doing it as a learning tool. Okay. And checking off and practicing, that's an excellent idea. It borders on the behaviors part where all I want you to do is just correct your error. I don't need you to understand why you got it wrong or how it connects to how you studied. I just need you to connect your error or correct it. Yeah. And nothing wrong with that. Just the deal. All right. The motivation again. We can not to just skip over it quickly, but show the value in actually spending time to use your exams to learn. Right? Not only learning that material, since it's all most of it's connected in math, will help you in the next sections, but obviously it'll teach you how to study from your exams that you got back. It'll help you evaluate your performance. Metacognition. That's the idea of the thinking about thinking. It's a little bit more than that, but that's the idea. Okay, let's do the framework then. So out of the stuff you liked, piece together a framework. So what are you going to have students do when you give them the test back? That's the deal. This is more of a they do kind of thing. What are you going to have them do? You give them their test back, what are you going to have them do?
You improve the knowledge portion of it.
Nice.
And then I wrote, when you're evaluating, I just wrote the same thing that I wrote in here. Make notes on your tests, on errors that you see, or flag sections in your notes that you need to.
Yeah, excellent. Absolutely fantastic. So,
Other than that, I added knowing what you did wrong on the test, procedural or declarative, knowing what you need to do next time on doing reps or doing connections, and knowing if should you make a different plan next time for studying, or if this is a good plan to have in place or not.
And the second part, were you talking develop strategies for how you can fix your errors?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Excellent. I like that. Yeah. Dallas?
I said look at the grade. Did you get any points off? If you didn't get any points off, well, if you didn't get any points off, you know,
Sorry to
you know
laugh
the
there.
process
Yeah.
and you understand how to do it.
Yeah.
So you're good.
Yeah.
If you don't, then look at the problems. Were they just that you got wrong? Were they just one-time mistakes like negative signs, labels, or were they the big ideas, processes, vocabs, formulas?
Yeah.
That kind of goes into knowing and understanding kind of thing.
That's excellent.
And then ask yourself, are you satisfied with your grade? why are you or not, and then you have done better.
Yeah, I like that.
What did you do to study? How much? What will you do next time?
Nice.
And then use the test as a learning tool. Are you going to study more, study differently?
I like that. Yeah, they don't think about that. They just get it back and then, yeah, all that stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Nice. Great. Anything else anyone wants to add? Before I show you mine, I call them test corrections. And you have choices. I've done it one of two ways. I do it, well, I always did it, at least in high school. I do it for an extra grade. So I give you back your test and I tell you how to do test corrections, and I treat it as a 5-point quiz. So I don't get points back. I don't do any of that stuff. I do it as an actual grade. So if you do not do it, it hurts you. So over the course of, however what it could be, all the quizzes and tests, I mean, you could have, what could you have? You could have about 20 tests and quizzes. Out of that, we're talking you get a 0 out of 100. So you're not going to survive that. So I did it, so it's so important that I actually took it for a grade.
And that's for anybody that
For everybody.
you got like 2 points taken off?
If you got 2 points taken off, you can do all my test corrections, or else you get a 0 out of 5. Yep. I think it's so important to learn that I attached a grade to it, not a, I'll give you extra points if you feel like you want to do it. I didn't like that. I think it's huge.
So, are you against it being like not a grade, but like
No, I'm just telling you.
like extra credit
Nope.
or something?
I'm just telling you how I did it, yeah. But other teachers have done this. If you do it, I'll give you 20 points back. I'll give you a percentage of your grade. I'll do all that stuff, yeah. When I teach math here, I don't do it that way. I don't know that I still think it's a huge deal, but I don't know. I think at a certain point in higher ed, you should be on your own. So then I give them a percentage of their points back if they do the entire thing. So I don't do it like I would in high school. But yeah. There you go. Yeah, anyway. So, and then here what I do, it's pretty much exactly what we talked about. So on every single problem you miss, then they have to do these 4 things. First thing they have to do is rework the actual problem they missed. Okay, so on a separate sheet of paper, I want them to put problem 2. They take the problem from the test that they missed, and then rework the whole thing. Okay, then I want them to identify their error. Tell me if it's a conceptual error or procedural error. Right? What did you do? All right, and then I want them to actually work a similar problem. So once you've figured out what your error is and all that good stuff, you've redone it, I want you to prove it to me that you know how to do it now and rework another problem just like it. And they have to go find that problem. Well, they actually can make one up too. It's fine. They normally just change a couple numbers here and there. Right? But go to the homework, the classwork, the notes, find a problem that's like it, and rework it too. And the last thing is, I want to know how you're going to correct your behavior. If it's procedural error, so if you always are doing minus signs or you can't divide or something like that, it's not really procedure, but I want you to come up with a strategy on how you're going to fix that. Right? Put a big plus on the top of your test. Read through your exam when you're finished. Always check for errors. Anything. Come up with anything. And then I want to know if it's conceptual error. I want to know how you're going to. I want you to look back and think. Out of all the times I took notes, I did all my homework, I watched the lectures, I did all this stuff. How did I miss this concept? It's a conceptual idea. It's a big idea. How did I miss it? All right. I want you to identify how you actually had no idea what was going on. All right. Okay. And then afterward, this isn't part of the test corrections. This is just kind of a side that I don't know. I haven't think about, but I don't take it for points. And then same idea what you were talking about. Then go back and see how you studied, see how it all worked together, see what you could change, what you can't change, all that good stuff. That's how I always did it. Yeah, again, that'll be online. But yours were excellent. Very, very good. This is the last thing, and there's nothing really here. We don't have to do this. It's just the idea that if we brought it all together now, so everything we talked about, how to take notes, how to do problems, how to study for exams, how to evaluate performance, that's kind of an overall success checklist. So if someone said, hey, look, I really want to engage in a class, you could give them all 4 frameworks. They're a little wordy, which is fine. I do. Or you could come up with your own kind of, pull out the key parts of each. And this is on the website too, so you'll see. So then I just kind of highlighted, in notes, this is what I'd look for. Here's doing homework in the classroom, this is what I would look for. Right? Here's studying, this is what I would look for. So it's really just the key points we've talked about the last 2 weeks. But it's just in a kind of an overall, and at the top says study, but it should say success kind of checklist. Right? I'm not doing well, why not? You can start here. And then maybe, it's not a bad idea to start here. If they're doing all this stuff, they don't go to the complex framework. If they're not, then that's when you pull out the complex framework. Right? So here's a map to how to help them. Here's how to identify where their issues are. Right? And the 4 things we talked about. That's pretty much it. Okay. You just skip over that, but that's the deal. Okay, same old then. I want you to type up your 2 reviews. I want you to add justifications, right, for each step, why you're doing what you're doing.
So this review is not that final outline.
No, it isn't. No. So the final outline, you're just going to, for your homework, do the 2 frameworks you did. This was just an idea that if you wanted to, you could put them all together and have an overall framework. Yeah, kind of a guide, a map, but that's not for homework.